All right, thank you so much, Mark. Back once again with former BGSU Falcon John Gibson. John, again, always thank you for being here, no matter what it's like the days after what happens on Saturday. Okay, so new coach, same result. What did you see from your booth at Athens?
Well, I saw a football team that was probably emotionally spent. I think, when I said in my post-game haiku, they used all of their emotion up Sunday and Monday. All of that was used up by Saturday. There was nothing left in the tank. Yeah. And you saw it. That was the first time that we've seen that team all year not fight at all. I mean, there was no fight left in them. And God bless them. It's a tough situation. I mean, we think about how many times have we seen guys and ladies melt down at our jobs as adults. Now imagine putting that type of unsurety onto a guy that's 18, 19 years old. It's easy to say they should go out there and play for the Falcons, but they love their coach. A lot of these guys came to Bowling Green specifically because of the words that Mike Jinks said to them. You can't just say, hey, snap your fingers, get over this. And so, it was tough. It was tough. Coach Pelini talked about some X's and O's, but I think, the pain really was the emotional stuff.
You mentioned the emotions. There was a lot of talk about how the practice was very spirited in the week leading up to the OU game. Now, obviously you want to have energy, but is that maybe part of the reason why they were spent on Saturday? Is they kind of got it all out of their system the week leading up?
No, I don't think that is. I think honestly they may, there could be. I don't know because I wasn't at practice, so I can't really speak to what it was. I mean, it could just be the proverbial egg. It could be just, hey, they just dropped the egg this week and they'll go back to, they'll be better next week. Or it could be a situation, I don't think that they, because, practice at this time of year is very non-contact. It's not very, it's not a whole lot of spirit in it. It's not like you're going 11 on 11 ones-on-ones. Right. So there's not a ton of spirit into it. I mean, there probably was good tempo. Mm-hmm. But, again, you still have guys who, you're able, just like us, we're at work and we're doing our job, but our head isn't always in it, and that could have been some of what we saw from those kids.
Speak for yourself, John. I'm always in it here. One of the moves he did make, one of the noticeable moves that Carl Pelini made, was taking the nameplates off the back of the jersey. Symbolic or something that could be a good, thought heading forward?
Coach Pelini talked about that extensively before and after the game. He talked about it today at the coaches show. It was a symbolic thing. It was about play for the name on the front of the jersey, not the one on the back. It also becomes one of those things where, it's tough because you never know how these kids are going to look at it. There's a coach, there's some kids that are like, good riddance. And then there's other kids that are taking it hard. And then I think some kids probably feel some type of guilt, like they could have done something better. And so it's a rallying cry. I mean, sometimes you may even want to say, hey, some kids are, if you're evolved thinking, you may be thinking, hey, this administration gave up on us. And so there becomes all of these different factors to come in. The names on the back of the jersey was a symbolic thing. Coach said that the leadership committee was in on it. He spoke to the seniors, spoke to the leadership committee. They said they were in on it. And so that's what they went with. We're going to play for the name on the front of the jerseys, and that's what they're going to keep for the rest of the year. Okay, so in reality, in your opinion,
Carl Pelini takes over the same players that Mike Jinks had. What can he do in this final stretch to either audition for the job or get better results than what Coach Jinks had in the first, 6 games?
Well, I think that Carl Pelini has the fortune of coming into the gooey center of our schedule. I mean, you have an Akron team that, is beatable. You have a Kent team that is beatable and a Central Michigan team that is beatable. Whereas Coach Jinks played against, a Western Michigan and Toledo teams who are at the top of the MAC. So with the creamy filling, you always savor that. He has an opportunity really to put a stamp on it. If he can get these kids up and get them playing to their potential, especially offensively, he could be able to get some wins. I mean, let's not make any mistakes about it. We all know Carl Pelini wants to be the head coach. I wouldn't doubt that there's probably some within the athletic department that would like to see him be the head coach. And this is just me speculating. That's not me saying anything I've heard. But what I will say is that he has his tweaks that he's going to make, but unfortunately, Carl Pelini's not making tackles. He's not getting off the blocks. He's not catching the balls. He's not, blocking. When he sees the numbers, that's not what he does. He's the coach of the team, and ultimately, it's going to be up to the coach of the team or to the players to go out there and execute the plays. I don't think that they've been beaten X's and O's this year. They've been outmanned, and that's the thing. And unfortunately, he can't bring any of his guys from Nebraska with him in order to play. So I think Carl Pelini really is going to have to refocus these guys. I think he can do that. I think that he's going to have to drill them on the X's and O's. He talked about having a little more physical practices Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. I think that will help. Getting some inside run, getting some Skelly out there with those guys, letting them go at it a little bit ones-on-ones. I think that will help. But ultimately, next Tuesday, because they're off on Saturday, next Tuesday, it's still going to be up to the kids to go out there, block, tackle, run, pass, and catch.
Okay, so you mentioned it too. You're getting so good at these segues. Tuesday. We're back to #Maction.
Yeah.
We're going to weekday games. What does this do? Obviously, creatures of habit. We're on a schedule. This is usually how it's run. But when you throw these weekday games and it kind of blows the schedule up, what does a Tuesday game do to a team that's used to a schedule?
Well, I think what it does is that, and what Coach Pelini talked about, what he's going to do. What he's going to do is he's going to. They're going to be off on Thursday, so they won't practice on Thursday. They were off today, and that's a normal Monday off. So they'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday. They'll go a little tough. They'll take Thursday off. And then Friday, they'll get into their regular game prep. They'll practice on Friday. They'll practice on Saturday. Sunday will be their Thursday walkthrough practice like. Friday, it kind of be like whatever your travel day is. There'll probably be another walkthrough, some light stuff. Not even light stuff, just a walkthrough. Some situational things just to get out and get the blood moving. And then Saturday, they're right back at playing football again. And it's, they probably won't go to class on Tuesday, they probably won't go to class. Or they'll get out of class and they'll go straight to the football facility and they'll start prepping for the game. So, they'll try to keep the schedule as close to being the same as it has been for Saturdays, as far as the days leading up to. But I think Coach wanted to make a point to Tuesday and Wednesday to get a little more physical in practice, which, at this time of year, there's normally no physicalness in practice at all. But I think he wants to improve. One of the things he talked about was improving the running game. We've got to be able to run the ball in order to pass the ball, and we've been having trouble running the ball all year long.
Right.
We've got some injuries. Andrew Clare's been injured a little bit. He didn't play much. But we've got some guys that can make some plays if we just give them some running lanes. And so that's one of the things he wants to do. He wants to get that attitude of, we can line up and take 4 yards from any defense anytime.
When will there be time for gooey nougat in the center?
Hopefully soon.
I mean, it's coming up, right?
Hopefully soon. We haven't sang Isaac Izumba in the locker room in quite some time. So, it's time to get some creamy fillings.
All right. Oh, man. John Gibson over here making me hungry. He's with the Bowling Green Falcon Radio Network along with Todd Walker. Catch him on the broadcast next Tuesday. Isaac.